What's up, all you degenerates, and welcome to the show. This is the Zbookies.com sports betting show, and I'm your host, N2, and with us, as always,
J-Rod.
Your friendly neighborhood b-hole.
Thank you.
So last week, fellas, was quite a football weekend. We ended up with the GOAT, as predicted by three of you.
Yep.
To advance to the Super Bowl over the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers, where I went, which sucked.
It was a great game.
It was.
It was a great game.
And they're gonna meet the we all knew Chiefs.
Who's we?
Oh, me, you, and Q.
Yeah, that's us.
Okay. So yeah, like I said, we all knew that the Chiefs were gonna win and cover the 3 points, because anytime the Chiefs get 3 points, like they are in the Super Bowl, which we'll talk about
next
a
week,
little bit more next week
yeah.
before the game. The Chiefs ended up having a dominant performance last week, guys, and we all thought the Buffalo would come with a little bit more firepower, but ultimately the Chiefs' defense was pretty sneaky.
They are who
underrated.
we thought they were.
Right.
Is that what the
That's
saying
the
is?
thing.
That's the saying, right?
And also, like we've been saying all year on this show, 9-0, you go take a leak and get a beer, and they go on a run, and you go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
They can put 21 up.
9?
Put 21 up in a minute.
Never
30.
seen anything like it.
Yeah.
No, Tyreek Hill's a cheat code. He's a nightmare. I mean, he's you can't do anything to the poor guy to make him not catch a ball.
Real quick sidebar, you mentioned Tyreek Hill. I was just doing some Twitch streaming not too long ago, and somebody was talking about wide receivers top 5. He didn't have Tyreek Hill in his top 5. Is he not a top 5 wide receiver?
I don't know if he's a top
Wait,
5
are we
Twitch
talking
guy
all
at that
time, or are we
point.
No,
talking
this season, right now.
Yeah, of course.
What?
He's probably the number one weapon. I don't
Right.
even know if I consider him a receiver.
How do
He's
you
a
not-
fucking...
Do all 4 people that were listening to that, because he has no clue what he's talking about, agree with him? They
I
can't, right?
guess I don't understand how he has anybody listening to him about football advice if you don't have Tyreek Hill in your top 5.
Who are the 5 above him?
Tyreek Hill's the best wide
I just,
receiver.
he's almost not even needed to be talked about. Then you talk about Adams and Diggs because it's just automatic.
They're my
He's
top 3
unguardable.
right there.
Yeah.
Those 3 guys are the top
Yeah, and you
3.
forgot about
gotta
Nuke.
put Hopkins.
What about
You
Nuke?
gotta
Is
put
Nuke
Hopkins
now
in there.
4?
No, I mean, I agree Hopkins' potential's there, but in the system and the team he's in, it didn't merit him to be. This season, I think the top 3 were Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
and then down is
Speaking of,
Stephon
what did he do
Diggs
to
and-
Tampa in the first quarter?
Yeah.
200.
Yeah.
Two.
I thought he was going to have 800 yards.
He could go for 2 bills in a quarter. How is he not a top 5 wide receiver? Anybody who could do that, I'm sorry. He's like number 1.
Yeah.
He's
right?
top 3. And
He
he's
makes
not 3 or
NFL
2.
studs look slow.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And it doesn't even look like he's
doesn't
running fast.
really look
it
like
looks
he's
like he's kind of
trying
like
hard.
at a halfway sprint, like just a heavy jog maybe.
Yeah.
And he's just pulling away.
like lagging him out, right?
We're just watching on TV.
he
If
looks
we're in
fast.
person. Yeah, if we're
but it doesn't look like
in
he's
person,
trying those. My
motorboat.
point. It's like,
Yeah, it looks effortless, but the point for me where I kind of was just like, there's nothing you can do is he manned up. The corner had great position on him, jammed him to the inside, had hands on him,
and he
then
ran an out route.
Tyreek gets outside of him and then stops and comes
I remember the play.
in,
Remember that
and
play?
then
Yeah.
he catches it, and then the guy's just completely turned around. So then now you have a safety coming down to get him, and then Tyreek's like, you don't have the right angle.
Well, and
Not
here's the
because
thing.
you didn't
Well,
take the right angle. It's
and the
because
corner-
I'm so much faster than the safety coming this way that if Tyreek Hill catches the ball in between the hash marks, you don't have the correct angle unless it's towards your own end zone. To be quite honest.
And I'm pretty sure the corner that was covering him on that play was Tre'Davious White.
Yeah,
So it's not like
yeah.
some third string slump corner. It's top 10 corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
He'll like
absolutely.
stop, look at you, and then like fucking move like 5 feet in the air. It feels like, and then he's like he is a borderline
And he can
elite
jump.
cheat code.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't look real. He's like Dante Hall back when he would do that, where he would stop on a dime,
Yeah.
move, and he'd just take it to the house.
And one other thing, Travis
Scary.
Kelsey's like a 10-yard cheat code.
So
sure.
he's-
Fantasy football nerds, I think he ranked 1
Yeah.
amongst everyone.
So to go
I mean,
into the
he's a
him,
fucking tight end, or
Yeah.
is he? I don't know what he is.
He's a really
what
big
kind
receiver.
and when
He's a football player.
Yeah.
Madden, when do I get the update that I want Andy Reid's fucking playbook where I can do underhand pass to my fucking tight end with everybody
other route.
Boys,
blocking?
we weren't going to do this because we were going to save it for next week, and I guess I'm letting the cat out of the bag, but the fucking three-peat is on the fucking table, I think, for these guys. It's never happened in the NFL. The contracts don't kick in.
Well, they got
I don't want. We got a lot of
Yeah,
shows.
this is the second one.
Well, they're going to win this one. I'm already just doing that. I'm already talking three-peat.
Spoiler alert.
Right?
Oof.
We'll save that for next week.
Yeah.
So,
I got some
Okay.
reservations. I'll get a week's time to think about it, right?
Right.
Okay.
transition back, though, I think, to the better of the two games just to watch as a football fan. The Rodgers versus Brady. Oh, what a fucking football game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was we didn't sit down the entire time. It was phenomenal.
And just to fucking give you some Brady shit, 21 seasons, 14 conference championship games. I believe the stat that I heard
More
that
NFC titles than the Dallas
he
Cowboys
goes
in
to the
last 20
Super Bowl
years.
more frequently from a percentage than Steph Curry hits threes.
He does.
Correct.
He does.
Correct.
47%
What in the fuck is
versus
that?
43%.
And Steph's
I
pretty
mean-
good at shooting threes last I checked.
Well, yeah, you think he's going to make it
I
every
think it's
time.
automatic. It goes up. It's like, oh, that's
So
going in.
to start this game, this fucking guy went 6 of 7 on third down for 141 yards.
Those are just
Right?
third down numbers.
Those are just third
Oh,
down, and he only had
God.
17 yards on every other down. So if anybody tells you third down isn't important, it's important.
It's important. It's very important.
But that's the problem with, in my opinion.
They get into those positions.
Well, Brady is to the fullest potential, in my opinion. He absolutely does the best at giving what a defense gives him. He doesn't care if it's 2 yards. He doesn't care if it's 3 yards. He doesn't care if it's 15, 20, 25.
What they give him, he'll take it.
Whatever it is, he takes it, right? And then he's in a system now to where the 5-yard drag route to Chris Godwin is 65 yards.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're going to end up with that perfect look where your 10-yard dump pass that's safe as hell to Gronkowski is because they've got a safety walked up on him trying to cover him in the slot.
Yeah.
So this is, not to peek my hat, but this is, in my opinion, you have teams with equal firepower, and then when it comes down, it's truly the goat versus baby goat because these quarterbacks are just so dialed.
You saw the promo that SportsCenter put up. I don't know for those that are familiar with WWF, but they had the Rock Hogan like WrestleMania reference. Like it's that level. It's the guy that's clearly the greatest ever against the guy that
is going to be
could
the greatest
unseat
ever.
him and
Yeah.
could be with this game on his resume has a shot. He loses this game to Brady, no shot.
Real quick, I got
Yeah, then Brady cemented all time.
I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about the game itself since you guys are mentioning it. What ultimately lost the game for Green Bay? Was it the defense? Was it the inability to go for it on the crucial 4th and goal? Or was it Rodgers?
I think
Let you guys go first.
you got to put a little bit on the coach. You can't kick that field goal. LaFleur, I mean, I don't know.
I can go deeper on that, but I'll let you finish.
There's nothing I want.
what she
I mean,
said.
that's just you can't get. You got Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady in a decent run game with an okay defense on the other side of the ball. You know what I mean? Like you have to assume you're not going to get the ball back. Well, it's like if you're playing blackjack and the dealer has an ace show and you assume they've got 21. Or
You got to hit.
You have to hit.
Sure.
You know he's going to score. All you're asking the GOAT to do is get a first fucking down?
Sure.
I mean, what are we doing
He's
here?
going to get a first down.
I mean, come on.
Listen,
So you shoot your last bullet, at least.
Listen, it comes down to the fact that you know in that situation that you have to be playing for 4 downs.
Yeah.
You have to.
Weren't they still down by 4 after the field goal?
They're down by 5.
You need a touchdown either way.
Here's my point, though. Listen,
Like,
hold on a
You
second.
have to go down and score either
This
way.
is what fucked it up. What fucked it up is that they didn't call the plays to get them closer to the end zone. They went for the end zone on all 3 plays.
The third down play that everybody talks about.
Sure,
not to
Rodgers
cut in.
could have leaked
Should he
out
ran
and ran.
for it?
They should have called a run, or they should have called a shorter pass. They should have done something to at least get some yards to give them a reasonable 4th down.
I want to
opportunity.
give you context on this red zone possession.
Sure.
Because this really puts it in perspective. Green Bay has an 80% touchdown rate this year in the red zone. Mm-hmm. Last
4
time
out
you
of
do
5.
that was in 2000.
Okay.
20 fucking years. And it comes down to that,
to a red zone possession.
and they don't get it.
Well, and here's-
they didn't get
They
one
didn't
earlier
move a
either.
yard forward, though. They didn't give themselves a chance on 4th down
No.
to even go for it.
He should have
But,
scrambled.
so, okay.
We're getting there.
Right.
Oh, I got other things
At least
to get into.
to
but
the 1 or to the 2, and you have a reasonable
crossed his body
chance.
trying to throw it into double coverage.
Whatever. The play calling was atrocious. Go ahead.
So, go ahead.
Hey, I sat here
No,
for 5
you guys are
fucking
good.
minutes.
No,
My
I was
fault.
doing it for more comedic relief than anything, my friend. But I think that a lot of this is coming back to what did the Packers do, because that's kind of the narrative right now. I look at it as purely what the Bucks did right. There was no
Well,
run.
Brady gave the ball away 3 times in a row.
We
can get to that.
I'm not talking
We
about
can
that.
get to only
I'm
7
right.
points
The
resulted out of
Packers
that.
had every
That's what I'm
opportunity
talking
to win
about.
the game.
No. I'm talking about the defense, and that's where
Hey,
I
Mac
want-
Jones
the Kevin
put the
King
ball on
play?
the ground.
No. I'm talking about the Buccaneers' fucking defense before people
Held
get
them to
excited.
7 points on 3 turnovers.
7.
That's-
They had 3 turnovers.
it.
They got
5
handed
sacks.
and 5 sacks because who? Nadamik and Sue, like I said last week, had a game.
He had 1 play.
Right.
You
The
don't.
2-point conversion.
Okay, as a defensive line works.
That front
As
seven.
He said he was
As the
gonna- yeah,
defensive
front
line
seven.
works, how many
Yeah.
rushing yards did they have?
Yeah,
Normally
no.
Aaron Jones goes, but as a defensive line works, he may not have had all the stats that
eliminated
are on the
him.
board, but because you have Ndamukong Suh, you have to double team him or you have to double team this guy.
Vita
and
Vea was back,
Vita
which
Vea
was
was
fucking
back,
huge.
and Vita Vea was having a game. So I mean, what happens?
You're burying the lead on that line. JPP.
Right.
Holy fuck. Imagine if the guy had two hands.
That's my
yeah.
point.
Wasn't
Right?
blowing
Those
fingers
fingers,
off.
No,
yeah.
but that's
He
my
was
point.
dominating them.
You have JPP, you have Vita Vea,
Bakhtiari,
you have
however
Ndamukong
you
Suh.
say that guy not being there was
Look,
fucking
look at
huge.
that's the three,
Bakhtiari.
and then
Yeah.
behind it, what's the four linebackers that they put on the field to play? Oh, is it four
All
studs?
speed.
Yeah, who are
Devin
able to play
White,
side.
Levante David,
Bro,
fucking dudes.
I'm not talking
front
about what
seven.
Packers did right or wrong. In my opinion, we're going to see Rodgers right off into the sunset. He said, "You drafted my replacement.
But-
Fuck off, not retire.
Oh,
Fight
right
it
off-
I
into
want
the
to
Sunset.
throw one more thing out there too
Okay.
that you can attack. What if I told you in the second half, Green Bay down 28-10, 13:54, Whitehead, their only starting safety, goes out with a shoulder injury. He's the guy that created the fumble, and Rodgers has pretty much a whole second half against backup
Both
safeties.
Both safeties
Yep.
were second string.
And yeah, he came away with 16 points against them,
Yep.
but I mean,
That's
I
underwhelming.
think
That's underwhelming.
Okay.
You have
And
Devontae
Brady only
Adams.
scored 3 points after that.
Sure. He had his moments
the
where
three
it
picks.
wasn't the Buccaneers offense really that I think won that game. I saw the defense come out and make some really good plays
Agreed.
and make Rodgers look uncomfortable. And then, I mean, you have to understand that the run game wasn't even an option in the red zone, which makes them so good, like you guys were just talking about.
The thing that's weird is watching that A.J. Dillon kid. He was moving the pile. Nick's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Almost Aaron Jones being out.
I was gonna say, how much do you think that hurt them? Though Aaron Jones
Right.
leaving
They
the
didn't know
game?
what to do, but
Put
they
the
could
ball
have
on
just
the ground
pounded
for like
Jamal
one of the first
Williams.
times all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers uncharacteristically played the game.
Because those fucking linebackers were dropping
Missiles.
hits.
All I gotta say is,
Was Scotty Miller one of those linebackers that got behind Devin King?
All right, let's ask that question. Horrible scheme or
Horrible
just...
defense
Oh,
overall.
what if I told you King was hurt?
I
That he
don't
played
care.
hurt. So what is he playing?
Then don't play. It's the Jamal
Probably
Adams rule.
it is. And
Yeah.
you're going to put him with a one high safety on that play at the end of the half. You're talking about to Scotty.
Yeah.
Which were...
This
I went
isn't
back
the
and
elite-
watched it. Here's where timeouts at the end of halves can get weird.
Sure.
So we have 3 timeouts that change it. Me and him watched it. Okay. Arians wants to punt, right? Fuck. Timeout.
I'm changing my mind.
Which me and him were like, what the fuck are you doing? Just go for it.
Go for
but
it.
he used one of his timeouts, so they still have one. They put a formation out there with Brait out there. Scotty Miller's not in there, right? LaFleur, timeout. Changes the whole complexion. Over the top. High safety.
Yeah.
I mean,
6.
we've seen Brady do it I don't know how many fucking times. You know he's going for broke. He's like, fuck the 3.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Play to win.
I'm going to
Play
play
to
to
win.
win.
Play to win. And
So,
so it
that
all
alone.
it all circles back to me though. And yes, there was great defensive plays by the Bucs, but if you look at the last possession by Green Bay, if you go for it and miss the touchdown,
You still
turn
have
it
a chance to
over.
get the ball back.
You got to stop them and score a touchdown, right?
Right.
If you kick the field goal, you got to stop them and score a touchdown.
Sure.
Thank
Right.
you.
So what the fuck is the advantage of kicking the field goal? You
There
still are
was
in the
none.
same position.
And then when you got your star in the media
You
saying
have-
after the game,
you're in the same position
I
with-
thought I had another down.
I think
Then
they're
there's
actually in
the
a
big
worse
disconnect.
position because if you go for it and don't get it, they're backed up to their own end zone.
Can I just add one point about what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Before we move on past the Green Bay Packers apologist show. Listen,
I'm not.
it's first and
No, I'm
goal.
not
with-
either.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm telling you the truth, okay? If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, I'm not apologizing for you, but your coach literally sucked you out of the game, okay? The defense was sucked, whatever, but you had a chance to win it.
That's on the coach.
And it's first and goal with 4 minutes left in all your timeouts. And you can't call one run play to get 2, 3, 4 yards closer to the goal line. So when fourth down comes, you've got a 3, a 2, a 1 yard opportunity, and you don't have to sit there scratching your fucking headset going, do I have an 8-yard play in my playbook, or I kick the field goal and go with the analytics?
We named the
They
red zone
fucked up.
percentage.
They know.
How do you not go for it?
No,
You're right.
It doesn't. No, the
They've
coach,
been electric
no,
there.
What you're saying is how do you not put yourself in a
No,
position to
they
have an
didn't give
easier fourth
themselves
down?
a chance.
to go for it on fourth.
No, they never gave themselves
Yeah.
a chance. And then Aaron Rodgers does the classic thing, goes to the mic afterwards and says, yeah, it wasn't my decision to kick the field goal.
Yeah. Pass the buck guy. That's why he's lost 4 conference
You
games.
can
in the
tell they
championship
don't
games.
we haven't
agree
brought
with
up yet,
what's
yeah.
going on. And I don't care if Aaron Jones isn't in there. Dylan is your banger, and Williams is another banger on your goal line.
And
you don't got a 3-yard out route you can throw.
big old tree
You
trunk
don't have
guys.
you don't have a Tanyan 4-yard stick. You can't get closer to the goal line and give yourself a chance. You got to go 3 downs to the goal line every time. You had 4 minutes to work in all your timeouts, and you needed a touchdown then, and your coaching showed you Madden. He said, oh, you know what? I can kick a field goal and I can stop him. I got the 2-minute warning. Yeah, but he didn't throw into the equation that Tom fucking Brady's on the other side of the field.
Go.
Yep.
Anyway, next,
Sisson.
Seahawks.
Look at Sisson.
Yeah, excellent take.
Someone start. I need a breather.
So Seahawks off season, or do we want to go into the D coordinator, boys?
Offensive coordinator.
You guys choose.
Offensive coordinator.
Let's go into offensive coordinator first. And you know what? Knee-jerk reaction from all of us is who?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who?
Yeah.
Back
to the
Walmart
McGregor
guy?
Who the fuck is this guy?
When I say all of us who thought the Chiefs were good.
Shane Wall. Yeah.
Yeah, Shane Waldman.
Get one right.
Yeah.
Look, we can get into, and we've done our homework now, so we feel a little bit better prepared on
And you know
this.
what, let's
but
do
This
These
was a win-win. As soon as I saw the hire, I said, okay, I like it. It's a guy who hasn't had a name. He's not going to be expensive. He's going to be hungry.
He's
He's
not a
gonna
retread.
Yep.
So then on top of it, they just lost in the Rams, their offensive coordinator. This guy was going to be their offensive coordinator. And we said,
that's true.
Little
Come on
defense,
in. Little
So
defensive
now
move.
the Rams are replacing
lost
their
their-
pass game
There was
analyst
one other guy, too.
and their offensive
Their
coordinator.
run game guy came to Seattle as well today.
So-
Still from the
Not-
team that beat you.
Not only
Nothing
do-
wrong with that.
I like that, actually. I never thought
We're going to
about that.
understand their offense
We-
defensively
wow.
a lot more now because we got the guy, him and Norton,
Yeah.
can break this down. That's going
Pick
to
his
help
brain a
out
little bit.
twofold.
I like that perspective. I didn't think of that.
No, as soon as I saw it, I said, "Okay, we're
No,
going
and
to
I
1-2
forgive
the
you
Rams."
for the Chiefs call.
Yeah, no, I every now and again I get them right, but I really enjoy it. Russell's electric outside the pocket.
Yep.
This
Roll
guy has been around a lot of successful coaches. He had something to say inside that organization.
When he came from the Belichick tree.
Yeah.
Right, so absolutely.
09, 10, you can't get
spend
any better
time-
than that.
You spend time in the building with Bill.
Right.
You're gonna.
And
you're
where
better
would you
for it.
say McVay is as far as offensive minds? Top 5 in the league?
Sure.
I think we can. Okay, so you've been rubbing up against that.
Sure.
And
We also talk shit about his same 6 plays every
Yeah,
time.
no, but hey,
Right.
absolutely.
But hey,
He
it's the
works
same 6
with
the
plays.
It
guy
works.
comes from the Mike Shanahan tree.
Yeah.
You know, their offense is like San
Listen,
Francisco.
we all know
very
the key-
similar.
I've mentioned it throughout the season. The key to the Rams is running the ball. If you run 25
Outside
times a
zone.
game, they win a lot.
Outside left tackle.
Yep.
You got
Right.
it.
If you get a guy that commits to the run, which is a little bit outside of what I think Russ wants to do.
right.
However,
Hat off.
Russ,
I'll go next.
the Russ
I got a
did.
question.
Yeah, you're good.
Real-
Russ did give the approval of this hire. He did get
Do you
involved.
think? Because
So
I
it
heard
was-
that
it's been reported.
And I
it's
don't-
been reported.
You know,
Have they officially even reported this from Seattle? Because we just have a Shefty tweet.
Yeah, that's true.
We know Shefty's never wrong.
I don't remember
but it's
which-
strange.
which
we
one of
haven't
you-
identified?
Which one of you brought up the fact that he was able to do something with Jared Goff?
Yeah.
So
course.
imagine what he could do
The
with
system.
real talent.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to double down on that, since we're talking about his style of offense, going into the offseason topic of what we're going to go into, do you sign Carson in this style of offense off the edge running? Or do you have faith that Penny's going to
You
be
have two
able-
backs
well,
that are available
Carlos
in
Hyde,
free
too.
agency.
So I got
Carlos
two
Hyde
answers.
is out there
My first answer is I don't have faith in Penny being.
I don't either.
looking like a
and
poor
healthy.
man CJ Procise.
My second answer is I also don't feel the same way about Carson.
Right.
Carson has shown that he will miss 4 to 5 games a year every year because of his style of running. He's a banger.
You're obviously going to draft a back
It
somewhere,
all
and I
comes
would look
down
at a
to-
free agent guy if
It
you
all
like
comes
him.
down to semantics and value. Here's my personal evaluation of it. I think Chris Carson's valuable. I think that when
Yes.
he's in the game and in the roster and he's toting the ball over 18 times a game, the Seahawks have a ridiculous winning percentage.
Yeah.
However,
But that's 9-10 games a year.
I feel like that with the nature of how teams value the running back position now, that you could get a guy who's fresh for the first 3 years of his career in the draft in the 4th, 5th, 6th round who might have been, one of the school record holders for rushing in
Right.
today's NFL. I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe somebody help me, but I'm pretty sure Christian McCaffrey was not like a first-round pick, was he? I mean, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's
Yeah.
been some guys who haven't been who
Right.
turned into
Yeah.
stud
Chris
running
Johnson.
backs. I'm just that's
Well,
a
Chris
great
Carson was a
example.
7th-round pick to give you some heat.
Another
Yeah.
example there, but
Yeah.
And running backs are cheap, honestly.
That's the one position
They really
in
are.
football
It's
where
cheap.
you can kind of get by with that. Here's what I'll say: what our offense will change, because if we go to the Ram system, which why else wouldn't you hire that guy if you're not going to do that? We're going to see a lot more stacking, a lot more bunch formation, closer to the ball, not as spread out, a lot more crossers, a lot more out routes, and like what Jared said and these guys said, a lot more boots, a lot more Russ outside. A lot.
Do you think he knows he's got a guy named DK Metcalf?
Right. Well, here's what I'm going to say is because in that system, you have a guy in Robert Woods and Coop that ran 4.6 at the combine. Sure. What DK Metcalf run? I know about the 3-cone.
Right.
4.4?
4.3. Maybe I'm getting a 4.4 somewhere in there. So now he's going to get to play in that offense where you're already wide open.
The motions, the movement.
I'm starting to get excited. The higher I didn't like it kind of at first, but the more I'm looking at, if we start looking like LA.
God damn it, Jared.
And that Shanahan and that outside zone and the screen game and all those things start coming together.
He's a
4-3-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he fast. No.
So we have serious talent in that like McVay system, which they really haven't really had outside of Todd Gurley, who was a fucking world record.
And who knows? Maybe it's not.
Until he wasn't.
Maybe it's not a carbon copy of what they're doing in Los Angeles. Maybe he sees the strengths of downhill running.
Pete's going to sprinkle some stuff in there,
right?
Yeah, hopefully it's sprinkle some get the fuck out and get a clock management guy.
Absolutely, but
I mean, I hope that's part of the off season before we get into all the players that are available. I'm hoping analyst guy and guy that knows how to throw red challenge and timeouts is on the payroll, because that's
to be improved.
Bad since the beginning, it feels like. And strange, as Pete would say, hormonal calls and like did a 4th and 1. I didn't know that was going to show up in the game plan type shit. I'm hoping Sean help me again. Waldman.
That place still
figure it out.
Let's float a couple names real quick here, Seahawk fans. KJ Wright, Shaquille Griffin.
How old's KJ now?
Quentin Dunbar.
32.
Playboy Jacob Hollister.
Bruno Ford.
Benson
There's
Mayo.
a lot of free agents.
Chris Carson. What are these names doing for you? Out of those names, who do you want back the most?
We all
Carlos Hyde.
We all know we want Puna back.
Okay.
I want KJ back too. How old is he? 32?
It's a fair age.
KJ might have had his best year this
He
year.
looked better than I've
Crazy
seen him
enough.
ever.
So if I had a power ranking, I think Puna Ford, crazy enough, might be my most favorite guy that I want back.
Okay.
Outside of KJ. And I do want Shaq back. I know we've talked offline, and you said you're not a fan of that. The guy's a top 5. He's a top 15 corner.
KJ's 31.
Shaq Griffin?
Yeah, if you look at PFF.
You have to
I want
sign
him
him.
back.
You can't find another.
Those aren't easy to replace.
You have to find exactly. There's some positions running back easy to replace. I would lose Carson and Hyde to keep
DJ Reed.
Shaq.
DJ Reed's
Of course
great,
you're keeping
but
him.
DJ Reed's not gonna handle.
My point is that you drafted Ugo Amadi, you had an emergence of DJ Reed, and then you've got Quentin Dunbar that you could get cheaper. Why would you want to go and invest more resources into a tweener corner when you can go and get better in the draft with it? Sure. My mindset is in free agency, go after a tight end or go after offensive lineman. Try to get a center. Because the last time the Seahawks were good is when they had Max
Unger.
Posic's a free agent too.
Literally.
To spiral back
because
in
Russell Wilson, what he needed shout out to Oregon. What he needed when he first came into the
Max
league
Unger.
was
Godsend.
a center who knew how to direct traffic. And Max Unger was a great, smart center, and he was nasty, and he was quick off the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as soon as they traded him away,
was quick.
they traded their identity away.
No.
So it was really one of those moves to where I really feel
For Jimmy Graham, that worked out so well.
He didn't. Yeah.
Looked really fucking good
was
on
great on
paper.
paper.
We all were so
Madden.
excited because they finally made a big move.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, in Madden, you can get away with your 65 overall center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit did
Not
not.
in the NFL.
You can't. So out of those guys, I mean, I just don't feel that Shaquille
What
Griffin
good's a really good tight end if you
necessarily-
don't have time to throw it to him?
Well, Zach Ertz might be available. He made a
Oh,
heartfelt,
that's the one that I've been
you know,
wanting. I've been excited about Ertz.
He made a heartfelt speech at the end of the Philly job against the football
He
team.
kind of looked like a shell of himself, though.
He's playing
Because
in Philly.
what have we noticed?
He's playing in Philly.
Yeah.
Because a
Still a Philly
slot,
shell.
a slot guy and a tight end
Paired
and
with
a-
Parkinson,
would be the
who's a
guys I was
Stanford
talking about.
kid that we drafted at tight end, to be
I'd
a
like to
great
see
guy to
him.
learn from, a great pro. See, listen, you saw the direction that the Seahawks wanted to go last year at tight end. They went out and they spent $8 million on Greg Olson.
Yeah.
And who he just retired, so it shows you that they want to go out and they want to get.
They'll
an
spend the money
experienced
on the
vet.
position.
They
Yeah.
Well,
want a vet.
before Disley's injury, he was a fucking touchdown machine.
Yeah.
He was.
In the Arizona game, kind of killed him. He's a good guy, and Hollister's been a nice Swiss Army
They
knife,
need
but
a
we don't
center.
have as we
tight
see with the
ends.
team in the World
They need a
Championship.
guy
Both
that
of
can
them
make the
have great
checks at
tight
the
ends.
line with Russ, that can identify
But you know
the
what?
pressure.
I don't think they get a tight end. I think that they've got enough faith in Disley and Hollister.
You just
that
saved
they
$8
don't
million
do it.
though with Olsen coming off the books.
I know, but there's other
And they're
places
gonna
where
put
it
it
could be
in the
more well
line.
spent. The O-line's where it needs to go.
All right, what would you rather have, tight end or a slot guy?
I'll take a tequila.
What are you talking about? For a slot guy?
I mean,
I think
go
it-
on free agency.
Listen, here's another guy
No.
that's available.
We need to
Kenny
focus on-
Galladay.
Oh. We don't need it.
Pair
No.
Kenny Galladay with
I don't need
DK
it.
Metcalf.
If
Our
we
receiver
grab-
core is solid.
No. If we grab anything with a WR in it, I'm gonna fucking snap.
Yeah, we don't need it.
We don't need any more weaponry outside. We need something to protect fucking Russell Wilson.
Because
I don't
what
know,
good are all
offense
those
is pretty
receivers if you don't have
stale
time to
in
throw them
games
to?
with just Lockett and Metcalf
That's
and nobody
fucking
else.
Like to have a
play
third guy
calling.
besides David
No, that's
Moore.
play
You gotta
calling.
either go
That's
tight
play
end or
calling.
slot guy.
I'm telling you,
or-
just-
Okay, you're right.
Give
Well, the system should
have-
improve that because
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, I love them a lot, but I
Who's
think
their
DK
third,
and
Gerald
Lockett-
Yeah.
Well, they got tight end game too with all
They
their
do.
tight
They
ends.
have good tight ends. So I think you're onto something with the tight end offensive line
Yep.
is where you restructure the money because you need it.
Well,
You need it.
You got Iapati, Jordan Simmons, and Posick all gone.
See, I'm not a huge fan of.
So are
I
you keeping
Iapati
any of those
could go.
guys if we're
Yeah.
talking offensive line, or are you just starting over?
Get Pochich for cheap, but other than that,
I don't like Iapati.
Yeah.
keep Simmons actually over the other two.
He played well when he was
Simmons
in
is
games,
more
but he missed a
transitional.
lot.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We got a lot of time to really talk about Seahawks. How about that Conor McGregor fight last weekend?
Yeah.
You know who the real
How
winner
about
of
the
that was the
ESPN
fans.
Plus
Yes.
presentation of
Thank
that
you,
Conor
ESPN
McGregor
Plus.
fight? Yeah,
The real winner
fuck
was
you,
all the,
ESPN Plus.
dark
Can we go
internet
back to
streamers.
just being on our fucking whatever cable provider we have and getting
Yeah.
a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Because that fucking seemed to work just fine.
Right.
Right.
I've
They
had
made us
problems.
take it to the streets.
I've never had it actually completely say "fuck you," you can't watch this.
Right.
But I've had issues with ESPN,
I tried to give
Plus
you
every
my
time.
money.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
It didn't work.
I tried
I
to
did
buy
it
it on my
legally.
fucking phone and I couldn't do it.
What the fuck happened with that?
I did it legally. No.
Well, it was-
I am actually, like I said, I was not that surprised. There was
Afterwards, made sense.
as
The
I
leg
was sitting
kicks.
there
The
watching,
fucking
Oh, the leg
kicks.
kicks.
it was to a point.
He had
Anybody
heard about him for 2 weeks, I guess. Now I'm hearing about. that
No,
Khabib's camp is that all bullshit that they were saying that you're gonna get leg kicked, man. That he's gonna leg kick the shit out of you.
Well, it's the
So
perfect strategy. The way Connor
Yeah.
fights, he throws the 1-2, and
leaves his leg out
he puts all of his weight on his front leg, and so because
He
he
just
fights
gets chopped.
southpaw, that leg's forward, and he's got all of his weight on it. So every time he did connect with Dustin fired back with a low leg kick, and it just. I mean,
It
he
wore
didn't
on
start. He didn't start checking him until it was way too late. I mean, I think he was
Well-
confident that he was going to be able to finally touch him, but
Poirier
Dustin's
had
a-
to endure some shots. too.
Dustin's a motherfucker, bro. I told Chelsea on the way out, I said, I'm not going to be surprised if Dustin fucking does something here. And she goes, really? You think so? And I said, 100%. Connor's Connor. He's going to do his thing. But Dustin, as of recently, is a very focused person. And he came out with massive.
You think he fights that new kid on the block who just came out
Chandler?
looked like a,
Mike
So here's-
Chandler.
that guy
No.
looks like the real
So
deal.
here's
fucking
if
killer
you
that
guys
guy
He
was.
jumped over half the cage from the top.
Yeah.
so if you
Never
guys
seen it. He needs to be a WWE right away.
Yeah.
my
Yes.
my
That alone.
prediction.
Throw that man in the World Wrestling
He
Federation.
said he was gonna run through the whole fucking division. Dude.
Yeah.
And
I
so
love that.
he sold Khabib out.
Triple H, where are you at?
Yeah.
So the way I look at the way that division's lined up right now, what we're going to see in my prediction is you're going to have Gaethje, who's number 1, and Dustin Poirier fight for the strap because Khabib didn't come back out,
Don't
so
like
they're gonna strip it. So that'll be for the title.
Not sexy. Don't like it.
No.
Hold on,
Gaethje doesn't
hold
deserve
on.
it.
The flow, and
probably
Gaethje
go to
does.
the casino that night or
Who's
something.
his only loss?
Oliveira deserves it over him.
Oliveira's a fucking punk. Oliveira could have taken the fight to fight
is where we
Michael
talk about
Chandler.
something else,
Okay.
Right.
He didn't. He stayed in hiding. He didn't come out, and that's why Dan Hooker got the fight. So, Charles, I have a fight for you. Hold on. So, going now to the same card, you book this fight right beneath it. You have Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler fight for the next shot at title, because then you have Gaethje
Winner on
or
winner.
you have Poirier
Yeah.
versus winner of Charles or Chandler, and then you have Connor and Ferguson, and that way you have a little tournament, knockout, figure out who needs to go where, and line up your next fights. Unless, and I hope to God you listen, Nate Diaz if you can
Street
please
Jesus?
have the third fight with Conor, I would love to watch it.
Fucking Diaz
155.
I don't know who I'd root
We
for.
haven't had that. We haven't
Yeah.
had the trilogy yet.
I don't
would
know who
love
I'd
to see
root
the
for. I don't know who
trilogy.
I'd root for.
I love
I've
it. I
always
just want
loved the Diaz brothers from the beginning.
Yep.
Sidebar. Nick, Nate, any
Yep.
combination I can get.
As soon as they were on Street Fight, or not Street Fighter, that's what they are.
They should have
but-
been.
on
I love the
Ultimate
video.
Fighter.
Have you seen
Yeah.
the video where they're just stoned out of their mind and
Yeah.
they're fucking throwing the nunchucks around and just fucking
They're awesome.
Living their best life.
they're
I love
just
them.
the shit. Yes.
Masvidal's gonna fight soon, but Masvidal's in a different that's a different weight class.
See, you
different
mentioned
fights.
the Ferguson-Connor thing. I like that fight. Both of those guys coming off of losses at kind of a transition point in their career. That does make sense. The only reason I don't think Gaethje makes sense is because he's fresh off of a loss.
To who?
To Khabib.
Who's Khabib?
Poirier has also lost to Khabib. I mean, I
That's
don't
my
mind
point.
Listen, I don't mind them fighting, but
Who Charles beat?
you don't bring Tony Ferguson handily. Okay, you don't bring Michael Chandler in to do a spectacular finish like that, and then call out everybody in the world to leave him in the dust.
You
put
don't
him up
put
against
him-
Dustin right away. Let
For
Gaethje settle
what?
it.
So you have Dustin and him fight to have Gaethje come in and fight? No. Trust me, if you have it to where Michael Chandler
Let's
comes
bet.
in and beats Charles Oliveira,
I'm calling it out on camera. Let's bet. Gaethje's not getting a title fight next.
they'll do Gaethje and Poirier. Watch.
No, it's not happening.
What are you guys betting?
Justin,
I'll-
Gaethje,
let's
Poirier too.
Settle that.
A ball
That's
tickle?
not- That's
Who's
not the
with the
next
ball
fight.
tickle?
Poirier
Right.
is not. Next fight
Loser has
is
to tickle
not
the winner's
Justin
balls.
Gaethje.
Okay, we'll
Ball
see.
tickle.
No,
We
it
will
will
see.
not be Justin.
Are you guys
Gaethje.
willing to bet a
We
ball
will
tickle
see.
on it?
No.
I'm saying it's not Justin Gaethje.
No.
It's-
I like just to be right. And
Chandler
I watch it,
is
so.
gonna get the look over him.
Oh, okay.
How do you? Okay? Who was here watching? You were here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were here. So we all were literally watching the announcements. Hooker's standing there just looking dead as fuck, and I'm like, oh god, this guy's gonna get killed right away. And exactly what happened?
He looked
He
scared.
got fucking
He
killed
looked
right
unsure
away.
of himself.
Chandler looked like a monster, just
Yeah.
like
If we'd have
standing
had
there.
the ability to bet right there, you would have.
Right.
Because he was the dog. Chandler
Right.
was the dog.
It
was
looked like
obvious.
It looked like he went and like tapped a guy on the shoulder in the library and said, "Hey, do you want to fucking fight?"
Listen, I'd be with you, Jared, if Gaethje was underneath the card and he fought underneath those guys. But they displayed Hooker and Chandler for a reason. They wanted to see who came out of that. And I think Chandler did it so spectacularly
Ugh.
over a guy who was durable.
Yeah.
You know, he took punishment before in fights. And he got fucking starched. And
He
you
wanted
called
out
it.
of there immediately.
Last week you
He
called
wanted
it.
nothing
You
to
said
do
that
with it.
Chandler's an animal. He's
get
not
me
just
a-
a
Mom.
wrestler.
Mom,
and that's
pick me up.
exactly what he did.
No,
that guy should be fighting Khabib, honestly.
I completely
because
agree with what
he's
you're saying.
Awesome.
I completely agree with what you're saying. The only
Nick's on the
talks-
Chandler fucking train for
No,
sure.
and you're right.
can't argue with him.
I love Chandler.
I just feel like Gaethje's not deserving right away. Let him get one under his belt.
So look, if you have Gaethje as the belt holder, and then you have Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira fight, and then you have Gaethje or Poirier, then at that point you have Chandler fighting either Gaethje or Poirier, both two dudes who did decent against Khabib. And at that point, if Michael Chandler's holding the belt after beating Charles Oliveira, who's talked a lot of shit about Khabib, and then you have
he's talked a lot of shit about Dustin too, because
Absolutely.
he's demanded a title fight.
Sure, and then you have fucking him going and beat either Gaethje or Poirier. I think that's enough to entice Khabib out, because then he's gonna say, "I beat everybody you did. I did it in a better fashion than you did. Get it
Khabib
out."
doesn't come out unless they do like a tournament, like a one night thing, and then
I'm
there's a
telling
champion
you,
at the
if
end of
it plays out this way,
Can
there's
you do
no-
multiple fights in a night though, as
No.
one person?
You
It's not
can't.
sanctioned anymore by commissions.
Bring back the Kumite. Let's
Can't do
fucking
that.
go.
Yeah, you can't
I'm with
do
you
that.
on that. Like a tournament.
It'd
Those
be
were
cool,
some of the
but
reasons
you're
why.
gonna have
I
ball
know
really
you're
injured
never going to
people,
do
like-
it, but I'm saying you
Yeah.
brought it up.
It's been floated.
How fucking savage was that?
would be
though?
the best shit ever.
Timelines,
Fight to the
everything
death.
always plays a portion of it. Dustin has a 60-day suspension right now. Gaethje's going to be good to go. Chandler's good to go. Oliveira's good to go. Ferguson has a lengthy suspension from his last fight, and Conor could be out for 6 months, and that's why I've kind of structured my fights the way I did, based on timelines.
What are the suspensions for?
Just medical suspensions. Yeah, anytime you get hurt, have contact like that. Like, that's why Kamaru hasn't fought. He broke his nose and hasn't fought for 6 months.
When is fucking Street Jesus coming back to fight?
He's not fighting until he has a chance for the belt, in my opinion. Or and you have
Jorge?
Burns,
He's
you
too
have
busy
Burns
training
and
Jake
Usman.
Paul.
Well, I mean, he's just gonna sit in the gym, wait for a shot. He's not gonna. I mean, he came out, did it on 6 weeks notice last time, and he's like, okay, well, I want my.
It wasn't
actual
even 6
title
weeks,
shot.
I thought. It
Or
was
6
shorter than
days.
that.
Nate Diaz
6
is going to
days.
play a part in this. He's
I sure
gonna-
hope so.
He's either going to fight Conor or he's gonna try to get another big fight like with Max Holloway or something like that. I think.
See, so if you guys want to talk about Conor for a second, here's my dream: is he goes back to 145.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that's the smartest move for him. Go back to
It
145.
just makes more sense. So here's my thing in the fight ladder.
You think his pride will let him do that?
It
I
doesn't.
mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to.
It
do
doesn't
anything
make
with
any sense
pride.
for him to fight Gaethje, and it doesn't make any sense for him to fight Oliveira. Those are two dangerous fights for him that plummet him down the rankings. Ferguson's a great fight for him because it's kind of like that Cerrone thing.
Yeah.
Where you might be seeing him kind of tail out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ferguson's tailing out. I'm sorry, Tony Ferguson. I'm not saying that. I believe in you.
Wait, there was
I
just a
root
knock on
for
the
you.
door. It's Tony
Yeah.
Ferguson.
Two
He wants to
fight-
talk to you, Nick.
El Cthulhu.
Two fight losing streak ain't shit. I'm just saying, I want to see you come back strong, and I think Conor would be a great fight, good test, and if you want to prove that,
Yeah.
I think that'd be
I
a great
thought
way
Conor
to do
was
it.
great after the fight. I thought he just said, "Hey, I need some fucking activity."
I think
Yeah.
Ferguson
I mean,
beats,
he was classy about
it.
McGregor,
Need some
honestly,
activity.
endurance-wise. Just I think.
I mean,
that,
yeah.
And you know what? He did create a highlight. It was him getting knocked out, but it was still a highlight, and that's
No.
what he was wanting to do.
I mean, I think it's good. To kinda
Highlights.
see-
It's all about highlights.
You know, because you see him lose before when he was all inside his own head, and you'd see him self-destructing, drinking and shit. And this one, he's just humble and kind of.
Yeah.
I want to.
He's grown up a little bit.
From my perspective, watching it, it was the best thing to have him come back and lose that way. I mean, this was a monumental moment in both the guys' careers. Dustin, I always loved Dustin. I thought he's a great fighter, super good dude.
Is the thought of Conor possibly being not done fighting forever, but done being dominant in the back of your head at all?
Not necessarily. I feel
Yes.
like it's.
It's in mine.
I feel like it's one of those things where he came into that fight, like his opinion of it, like I said last week on the show, I said I thought Conor was going to knock him out in 60 seconds.
I said second round.
And going into it, it's kind of one of those things, the training, everything, but Dustin put together a fucking Bill Belichick type way of beating Conor.
Game plan.
It was masterclass.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just one of those things to where I said, I don't know what Dustin has done to do something different, right? And Dustin showed me everything that he'd done different. He ate some of Conor's best shots, came out in the second round, saw he had Conor's leg compromised, and fucking smoked him.
That first round was just so many great combinations from
So-
McGregor. He looked
looked good.
I was
He looked good.
sleeping on the fucking leg kick because the leg kick was there all the time.
So
Just
then there was the other
building-
part. This is where I also got with it, is that going into that fight, Conor got to a point of where he was talking about you're going to see something different, and I kind of felt like in the first round he played with his foot. There was multiple times where he actually stung.
Well, he caught his foot a couple times, even in the second
Yeah.
round. He didn't close.
Yeah, he stung. At that point, his leg was already fucked. But in the first round,
He stung him a
fresh,
couple times.
he
Yeah.
stung him
You
a
saw
couple
him
times, and you see,
wobbling.
I mean, at one point he hit him, and Dustin comes up and goes, "Oh," like that, and it was kind of like a joking thing. But to get that kind of emotion out of Dustin, it had to at least sting him a little bit.
He
But
felt
there was
it.
multiple times, and then Conor would get complacent. He didn't go for the kill like he used to, and I think that's something that he'll see when he goes back and watches that fight, is that he had a couple of openings to really, this way he did Cerrone. He came out, popped him, and as soon as Cerrone showed any
he
sort
just-
of wobble, he
Yeah.
just fucking...
Blood in the water.
Yeah, absolutely, and it wasn't there in that fight, and I think he was wanting to show people how good his conditioning was, and that leg kick just...
Second
Yeah, it
round
was great.
It was awesome.
It's
It's a 5-round fight, mate.
You
He
can't...
took a little nap.
You
It's not
can't...
five, it's three.
I thought you could box a little.
You
I did
can't...
call the second round knockout.
You did. You got it. You
did.
did.
You said the names wrong.
You can't,
Adam switch. I'm dyslexic, so
You
sometimes
can't...
it
You
gets me.
can't condition for those leg kicks.
You know,
That
they,
was so-
No, imagine. And we were talking about it. Just let me
One
kick
time.
you in the leg a few
Right.
times.
yeah.
Fuck that.
I didn't feel like he was checking it. He was eating
And-
them.
and
right?
He ate
them,
probably
which-
12.
Well,
And I
and I don't know what is that.
Because he
quick.
felt like he didn't need to.
to check them.
I think we
right?
get numb to it because, like, in this sport, you're used to like the fucking knockout
Fist.
blows, the knees, the fist. You know what I mean? So you see a leg kick, and you're like, whatever, it's a fucking leg kick, like the foot stomp on fucking Jorge.
Yeah.
You know, and we're just like, oh, it's a
That's
leg
like
kick,
shit.
whatever. They take it, they keep fucking going. Doesn't even phase them until it phases them.
Yeah.
But if you think about, if we were to stand there and I was just to let you kick me in the fucking leg
Right.
4 or 5 times, I'm like done. No, I'm done.
Stop.
No more
After one,
please.
it's like,
Yeah.
no.
For one, it's like
I'm gonna be
good.
here. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Bro, did you see the video of Dan Henderson kicking his
No,
girlfriend's boyfriend at
it's
New Year's
his
party or something
It's
like that?
his daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
His girlfriend's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what I meant.
One of my favorite
His daughter's
fighters of all
boyfriend.
time.
Yeah.
Fucking
Kicks him?
Yeah.
Oh, just stands there and it's like, okay, I want you to do it. Don't go light on me, you know.
The
Jesus.
boyfriend said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he just
Where'd he kick him at? You
ready, son?
outside
Yeah.
thigh.
Jesus.
And he
Smokes
hits him
him.
once. He's like, okay, I'm dead.
And they leaning
Yeah.
on his buddy, like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
just
one.
one.
Yeah.
And he's like 50.
Yeah.
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 But
Not-
he's still a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's still a big man.
Not Dustin Poirier.
Big man for sure.
Not Dustin.
So in the meantime, it's N2.
Your friendly neighborhood beehole, J-Rod. Cute.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Check us out on the YouTube stream as well as Spotify podcast. Signing out.
My hand's up too fast.